Hey everyone, I wanted to make an update video to show you some of the progress around here, and I've mostly been working on the inside of this house, but I also wanted to show off the exterior. This is the newest dome, the bedroom dome, and I just got the second coat of paint on there yesterday. So one more coat to go, and the exterior is getting pretty close to being finished. Okay, let's go in the house and I'll show you what I've been working on. First of all, we're here in the living room, and again we have this amazing mural. And if you find this interesting, the artists behind this, Amanda and Alexis, will be here in about a month, the first weekend of April, teaching a workshop in a different dome, which I'll show you, and going over a lot of those plastering techniques. But mostly I've been working on getting the wires in the walls here. You can see I have a little temporary office set up, but I did host a work party last weekend to plaster, so that was a good motivator to get a lot of wires in the walls. And basically there's a light circuit in here and an outlet circuit. This will be the bedroom. It's an 11-foot interior diameter. I did get some temporary enclosures. This is going to be a closet. The weather is warming up and the wildlife is also coming out, so wanted to block out the critters, but I'd love to have some sort of artistic element in those window openings eventually. And again, this will be the living room. So this week I hope to actually start wiring up some of these electrical features and also securing these light boxes and outlet boxes to the wall. So lots of work left to do, and we are entering the kitchen dome. And you can see last weekend during the work party we got some of a base coat on this one. And again, I've been putting the wiring in here. The electrical wiring, I would say probably at least 50 to 75% of the job was just planning out where everything's going to go, because obviously the outlets need to be in the right place. So I really had to think through, like, what kind of fridge am I going to have? How tall is it going to be? And there's a lot of trade-offs there. Obviously the interior space is pretty limited, so then you have to place things appropriately. And I was also looking at like electrical code guidelines. I'm not going to have any inspection here, but just to get a handle on what's common best practices, like how high is an outlet from the ground, from a kitchen counter, etc. So obviously there's no plumbing infrastructure yet, and like I said, there's a lot of work left. You start to realize just how much goes into a house when you actually go to finish something like this. The electrical is coming along pretty good. The water infrastructure and then the floor is kind of a big question mark at this point. I do want to do a radiant floor heating system, and that just requires a lot of figuring out, like how much piping to lay. There's a process. You have to put an insulation under the pipes, and then how that all works with the natural floor. So a lot left to figure out. But this is the dome where we will be creating art next month, the Mudroom dome. So I've been working a lot on the base coat of plaster in here, and it's coming together. And like I said, Amanda's got some really cool designs planned for that. Should be another awesome artistic feature in here. If you want to be a part of it, you can go to artplaster.rsvpfi.com and I'll include a link. And again, we made a lot of progress in here last week at the work party. Shout out to Sammy. Did an amazing job in the shower here. It's just looking great. And again, that's just the base coat. So I am hoping to do what's called a Tadilact finish, which is a natural hydrophobic plaster. And this great shower window, credit to Alexis for designing and implementing that. So overall, there's a lot of plastering left to do, which is just going to take a lot of hours. The floors, I'm also realizing, are also going to take a lot of hours because you need 3 inches of subfloor, which is just a ton of material, and then the coat on top of that is, if you do an earthen floor, it's just a lot of oil and manual labor. So I'll flip this around. So I guess just talking a little bit about my mindset or psyche at this point. I'm about a year and 3 months into the project, and it's definitely been overwhelming at times, especially just as I approached the project. I mostly focused on building the structure first. And then in my head, I was like, I'll just worry about all the interior finishing later. And then when you actually get to the interior finishing stuff, you realize just how much goes into that. And again, just having to plan everything out and all these little details, like, again, how high is the refrigerator going to be? How much counter space do you want? And then all the infrastructure, like how many circuits are you running? How many amps is that going to be? Is it a GFCI circuit? And the plumbing I haven't even gotten into, and then the floor and all this stuff. And so between just designing it and then lining up the people and actually making this a reality, it's really a lot. So I would say if you're thinking about doing this, definitely come into it with like a long-term mindset. I've pretty much tried to go as fast as possible, and it's still likely going to take close to 2 years before this house is really done. Maybe less, but that's a long period of time, and you just have to go into it with the knowledge that like this is going to be your lifestyle for a long time. I haven't even had to really work for income during this time period, so that would even stretch things out a lot more. And then like you have to take breaks, and life happens. You never know what'll come up during that time period. So definitely just be aware that like when you buy raw land, you're going to have to invest a lot in a temporary setup even before your house is done, and that's got to be substantial enough to last probably like 2 to 5 years. And then make sure that you can be comfortable in that, because the reality is you're going to be living there for a long time. So having said all that, this is what I love working on. This was my dream for a long time, just some sort of self-sufficient living idea, and to be able to wake up every day and work on this. Something else is just the knowledge that you're only going to make a very small incremental amount of progress every day. Like you can see all the plastering that's left to do, and just me here working by myself, like I could do a tiny patch of that in one day. And so again, just getting used to that as like your lifestyle, and that's just what you do every day, for a couple of years, is make a little bit of progress. So I guess that's my advice if you're thinking about this. Definitely, the reality is just it's going to take a long time, and you have to be able to enjoy the process. I think that's been another key, is for me not to worry about the outcome so much, and just say I'm going to put X amount of hours into working on the house today, and I'll get done whatever I get done, and then the overall project, like it's going to be finished when it's finished. And allowing yourself to just enjoy each individual job is enjoyable. Like it's cool to be wiring my own house, and plastering is enjoyable. So just allowing myself to enjoy the everyday work, and then it's gonna end up how the outcome is ultimately out of your hands. So anyway, that's a house and a personal update. And I'm feeling really good about it. Spending more time inside, first of all, is really nice. I'm not in the elements, especially as it gets really windy in the spring, and then the summer it's going to be really hot. But just being in here, like when the sun's going down, I mean, the views are amazing, and I think the house is going to be really, really awesome. It's a small house, but I think there's plenty of space to have it be a very livable, usable space. And then with all these amazing artistic finishes and everything, I really think it's going to be a great place to spend time. So that's it for now, and I'll talk to you later.